The 1983 P. Jefferson nickel may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but for numismatists and rare coin investors, it represents a fascinating piece of American minting history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint and bearing the P Mint mark, this nickel has grown in value due to several key factors, including limited mintage quality, varieties, condition rarity, and collector demand. With certain pristine examples reaching a market value of up to $5,000, the obverse of the 1983 Jefferson nickel features the classic left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. This iconic design by Felix Schlag, originally introduced in 1938, has become a staple in American coinage. Above Jefferson's head reads the motto, "In God We Trust," while to the left is the word liberty and the date 1983, followed by the distinctive P Mint mark denoting Philadelphia. On the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home, is depicted with meticulous detail. The inscriptions E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, United States of America surround the image, preserving the spirit of American heritage and architecture, while over 561 million Jefferson nickels were minted in Philadelphia. What makes the 1983 P. Jefferson nickel particularly valuable is not just its age or general mintage figures, it's the rarity of well-preserved, uncirculated examples, particularly those that are full steps FS certified. Full steps refers to the sharp clarity of the Monticello building steps on the reverse side of the coin, a marker of high strike quality and exceptional minting. Due to weaknesses in the minting process and quality control during the early 1980s, many coins from this year exhibit soft strikes, weak details, and poor step definition. Therefore, a 1983 P. Jefferson nickel with full steps grading at MS65 or higher by NGC or PCGS becomes extremely rare, and in high demand by collectors who seek coins with both historical integrity and aesthetic perfection. The 1983 P. nickel is also of interest to collectors due to its place in the post-silver era of American coinage, where nickels continued to be minted using a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel on a copper-nickel-clad planchette. Though not made of precious metal, the coin's rarity and the exceptional condition it must be in to command a high price place it in the category of valuable numismatic items. Over the years, collectors have reported errors and varieties in this issue, including off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchettes, and most notably, double-die obverse DDO varieties, where the date or inscriptions appear slightly duplicated due to a misaligned hub during minting. These error coins can drastically raise the coin's value and interest among rare coin enthusiasts. In today's market, standard circulated 1983 P. Jefferson nickel might only fetch its face value or a modest premium. However, coins graded by leading services such as PCG's Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company with a grade of MS66 full steps or higher can be worth anywhere between $1,500 to $5,000 or more, depending on eye appeal and rarity. A prime example was recently auctioned for $4,800 due to its brilliant uncirculated condition, full steps designation, and sharp strike, demonstrating the strong interest in this underrated date. Collectors and investors alike are increasingly looking for undervalued modern era coins, and the 1983 P. Jefferson nickel has emerged as one of the standout sleeper hits in the nickel series. Its appeal lies in the challenge of finding one in pristine condition, the iconic American imagery it portrays, and its increasing recognition within the numismatic community. 4 coin collectors aiming to invest in the 1983 P. Jefferson nickel. Several strategies can improve the chances of finding a valuable specimen. First, focus on mint sets or bankrolls that have not been heavily circulated. Second, invest in proper coin handling and storage, using acid-free holders, gloves, and dry environments to prevent degradation. Third, consider submitting high-grade coins to third-party grading services to obtain certification, which significantly boosts the coin's resale value and trustworthiness on the collector's market. With growing interest in 20th century U.S. coins, especially those with low survival rates and top condition, this nickel represents both a historical treasure and a potential financial asset. Additionally, the coin carries significance in the broader narrative of American coinage. The early 1980s were a time of economic change, inflation concerns, and shifts in minting policies, all of which influenced the quality and output of coins. The 1983 P nickel, minted just a year after the 1982 composition changes in the Lincoln cent, stands at a turning point when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new technologies and refining quality. Control, a historical context that deepens the story of this coin beyond its physical characteristics. In conclusion, the 1983 P Jefferson nickel is far more than a simple 5-cent coin. It represents a convergence of historical legacy, minting precision, rarity and high grade, and collector passion. With a current market value reaching up to $5,000 for exceptional examples, this coin is a compelling find for any serious collector. As interest in Jefferson nickels continues to rise, and more collectors uncover hidden gems in old collections and bankrolls, the 1983 P stands out as a coin with growing prestige and untapped potential. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or a beginner intrigued by valuable coins, the 1983 P Jefferson nickel is a fascinating addition worth examining closely, investing in wisely, and preserving for generations to come. Next, Upetha 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark stands out as a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Minted in Philadelphia, this coin carries no mint mark, which was standard practice for coins produced at that mint during that period. What makes this nickel potentially worth up to $14,000 today lies in a unique combination of historical context, condition rarity, collector demand, and occasional striking errors. The Jefferson nickel series, introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, features a left-facing bust of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin's obverse showcases Jefferson's profile with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1957. The reverse highlights Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, along with the phrases "E pluribus unum, United States of America," and the coin's denomination 5 cents. In 1957, over 38 million nickels were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making this a common circulation year. However, only a few high-quality examples remain in mint state or uncirculated condition, especially those with full steps on Monticello, which numismatists recognize as an indicator of a sharp strike. Coins graded MS66 and above with full steps designation can command premium prices at auction. Moreover, coins with unique characteristics, such as die cracks, planchette errors, or off-center strikes, add significant value. For example, a perfectly preserved 1957 Jefferson nickel graded by PCGS or NGC in top condition with full steps has sold for over $14,000, making it a dream find for collectors. The post-World War II era saw increased production of coins, but quality control wasn't always consistent. As a result, many coins from this era have wear, scratches, or soft strikes. This makes flawless examples of the 1957 no mint mark nickel exceedingly rare. The value is influenced heavily by grading, eye appeal, strike quality, and any unique features. If you happen to find one in your collection that looks unworn with a sharp strike, especially on Monticello steps, could be an indicator of something truly valuable for collectors. This coin represents more than just 5 cents. It's a piece of American history from the Cold War era. When Eisenhower was president and the U.S. was ramping up industrial output, the Jefferson nickel is also one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. With the original design being in use until 2004, the 1957 issue sits in the heart of this timeline and marks a transitional period of mintage techniques and economic shifts. Collectors searching for value often overlook Jefferson nickels. However, this coin proves that even non-silver base metal coins can fetch thousands, especially when preserved in pristine condition or discovered with notable minting anomalies. If you possess a 1957 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark, it is strongly recommended to get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to determine its true value. Coins in average circulated condition may be worth a few cents to a few dollars. But the jump in value for coins in MS-67 full steps condition is astronomical. In summary, the 1957 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel exemplifies how seemingly ordinary coins can hold extraordinary value. With a market value reaching up to $14,000, this coin is a must-check for any collector or coin hunter. Whether it's hiding in your old change jar, handed down from a relative, or buried deep in your collection, don't underestimate its potential. The coin's combination of historical significance, design, artistry, condition. Next, Upetha 1998 D. Kennedy half dollar, minted at the Denver Mint, stands as one of the more intriguing coins of the late 20th century U.S. coinage. It's both for its symbolic tribute and for the few rare pieces that today hold a staggering market. Values some reaching as high as $13,000 in pristine, rare conditions. First introduced in 1964 to honor the legacy of President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination, the Kennedy half dollar quickly became a collector favorite. The 1998 D version is not made of silver, but rather of a copper nickel clad composition typical of circulating coinage after the U.S. phased out silver from most coins in the mid-1960s. However, what makes this specific 1998 deminted coin potentially worth thousands is not the base metal but rather its condition, rarity and top grades, potential mint errors, and special collector demand that set a few examples apart from the millions minted. With over 15 million coins struck at the Denver Mint in 1998, a typical worn example is worth only face value. Yet among these are very rare high-grade examples, and a few error coins that have taken the numismatic community by storm. Some 1998 D. Kennedy half dollars graded by PCGS or NGC in MS-68 or higher condition can fetch well over $1,000 to $3,000, and in some extraordinary auction cases, coins with flawless surfaces, strong luster, and perfect strike have sold for up to $13,000, primarily due to collector competition, population rarity at that grade, and an increasing interest in modern coinage with low survival rates and top-tier uncirculated condition. One key factor that drives the value of the 1998 D. Kennedy half dollar is coin grading. Grading determines the coin's condition and coins. Certified by NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service command higher premiums. A coin graded MS60 MS64 is relatively common. But once a coin hits MS67, and especially MS68 or above, the value climbs dramatically. Due to the limited population of such high-grade examples, these coins must have no visible scratches, no contact marks, strong mint luster, and an excellent strike to qualify for top grades. In fact, as of now, only a handful of coins have been certified at MS68 or above, making them highly sought after rarities. Moreover, the full strike designation where the coin's details, especially the hairlines and eagle's feathers, are fully visible and crisp can increase the market value by thousands. Many collectors pursue the finest known example of each coin, and when there are only a few in top condition, bidding wars at major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stacks, bowers can push prices into five-figure territory. Another fascinating aspect that adds to the potential. $13,000 valuation of the 1998 D. Kennedy half dollar is the presence of mint, errors, or varieties, which are highly prized by error collectors. Examples include off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, wrong planchet errors, and clipped planchets. For instance, a 1998 D half dollar struck on a quarter planchette, or one exhibiting a dramatic die clash, could easily reach multiple thousands at auction, especially if certified and accompanied by expert attribution. Furthermore, die rotation or missing clad layer errors on Kennedy half dollars are among the rarest, and when found on a 1998 D coin, they can skyrocket the value based on uniqueness alone. Coin experts and collectors alike scour rolls and mint, sets in search of such anomalies, knowing full well that even one discovery can change the entire perception of a coin's rarity and market price. Additionally, the coin's historical context plays a significant role in its desirability. The late 1990s marked the last full decade before the U.S. Mint shifted focus toward more commemorative issues and state quarters, thus making standard Kennedy halves from that time frame an important bridge between older and modern coinage. In terms of design, the obverse of the 1998 D Kennedy half dollar features the familiar left-facing profile of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with the word Liberty arched above and the motto "In God We Trust" flanking Kennedy's neck. Along with the date 1998 positioned below, the D Mint mark is placed just below Kennedy's neck truncation, identifying it as a product of the Denver Mint. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the presidential sea-land eagle with outstretched wings holding an olive branch, and arrows in its talons, surrounded by stars, and the inscription United States of America, $50. Though mass-produced, it remains one of the most iconic designs in American coinage. Collectors value crisp, well-struck versions where each feather on the eagle is sharply detailed and the legends are bold and clean. Any softness in strike can reduce the coin's appeal, whereas a perfectly struck example with high eye appeal can elevate its desirability enormously. Another important angle is the role of coin roll hunting in original mint sets, which sometimes contain well-preserved 1998 D Kennedy half dollars. Some lucky collectors have reported pulling MS-67 Plus, coins from original government packaging or old Federal Reserve rolls. These untouched specimens often display a beautiful original mint luster and have never been circulated, making them ideal candidates for professional grading, as more people become aware of the growing market for modern high-grade coins. The demand for these nearly flawless coins has seen a sharp increase. The Kennedy half-dollar series in general has a dedicated following among both beginner and veteran collectors, and key dates or condition rarities such as the 1998 D and MS-68 are must-haves for those assembling. Registry sets are aiming for the best examples of each date. In summary, while the 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar might initially seem like just another modern coin, the story takes on an entirely different shape when we factor in top-tier grade rarity, mint errors, collector demand, historical importance, and design legacy. Coins graded MS-68 or higher, especially those with perfect luster and pristine surfaces, are extremely rare and are valued by collectors with deep pockets, reaching prices as high as $13,000 at auction. The combination of low surviving population, at the highest grade popularity of the Kennedy series, and increasing modern coin appreciation makes this half-dollar a true sleeper coin in the numismatic market. For collectors and investors alike, the 1998 D Kennedy half-dollar represents not just a piece of history, but potentially a valuable asset, especially as demand continues to grow for high-grade modern rarities. If you happen to find a pristine example, or one with a notable mint error, get it professionally graded, you might just be holding a five-figure treasure in your hands. Next, Upatha 1997 D Kennedy half-dollar, minted at the Denver Mint, is one of the most captivating modern-era half-dollars due to its unexpected high-value potential in the numismatic world. While millions of these coins were struck for general circulation, specifically over 19 million pieces, certain examples of the 1997 D Kennedy half-dollar have fetched astonishing prices at auction, reaching up to $22,000 for rare, flawless mint state examples or coins featuring dramatic minting errors. The Kennedy half-dollar series, first launched in 1964 to honor the beloved President John F. Kennedy following his assassination, has remained a staple in American coinage for over half a century. The 1997 D issue represents a continuation of that legacy, struck in the traditional copper-nickel-clad composition used after the U.S. Mint. Discontinued silver content in circulating coins. But while most 1997 D Kennedy half-dollars are worth only face value, A small number exist in exceptional condition or feature rare die varieties or errors, catapulting their worth to several $1,000s. Among collectors, it is these high-grade specimens, graded by PCGS or NGCSMS 68 or higher, that can command five-figure sums, with one such example known to have achieved a market price of $22,000, making it one of the most valuable Kennedy half dollars from the 1990s. The true power behind this coin's high valuation lies in perfect condition and rarity at high grades. In the grading world, most coins fall into the MS60, MS65 range. While attractive, these coins are relatively common. However, as the grade reaches MS67 or MS68, the population drops dramatically and competition among collectors intensifies. Coins graded MS68 or higher are extremely rare for the 1997 D issue due to the difficulty of finding coins with flawless surfaces, no contact marks, original luster, and sharp strike details. The U.S. Mint's striking quality in the late 1990s was not always consistent, making superbly struck examples even harder to find. The few coins that have been professionally graded at this elite level are usually pulled directly from sealed Mint sets or Federal Reserve-issued rolls and have never entered general circulation. Once certified by leading grading companies, these coins often enter the registry set market, where serious collectors attempt to build the highest-ranked sets by acquiring the top examples of each year in mint mark. When only a handful of coins exist at this highest grade, bidding wars at major auction houses like Stax, Bowers, or Heritage Auctions can drive values into the tens of thousands. Hence the $22,000 record for a pristine 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar beyond grade rarity. The 1997 D half dollar also attracts value from the presence of mint errors, which are of tremendous interest in the numismatic world. These include errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, die clashes, broad strikes, wrong planchette strikes, and missing clad layers. A 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar with a significant error like a 50% off-center strike or a coin struck on a quarter or foreign planchet could fetch $5,000 to $20,000 or more, depending on the rarity and visual appeal of the error. In fact, error. Coin specialists actively seek 1990s or a half dollars with dramatic mistakes because they are rare and often underappreciated, making them prime targets for sharp-eyed collectors. Even subtle double dies or partial collar strikes can add hundreds to thousands in market value. When these mint errors are found in high-grade, uncirculated condition and professionally authenticated by grading services, they become true trophy coins in any error collection. Looking at the design of the 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar, the obverse features the classic left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, originally sculpted by Gilroy Roberts in 1964. Surrounding the profile are the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." With the date 1997 located beneath Kennedy's bust, the small D mint mark, located just above the date, indicates it was minted in Denver. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential Sela heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, a shield at its breast, and surrounded by 50 stars. The words United States of America and half dollar encircle the majestic image. Although this design remained unchanged since its debut, sharpness of detail varies year to year, and collectors prize coins where the eagle's feathers. Kennedy's hair and facial details are fully and sharply struck. High relief features and bold rim definition often indicate a superior strike and higher grade potential. A 1997 D. Kennedy half dollar with full details, 0 blemishes, and bright original luster can qualify as a gem for grading. And with only a few such coins certified at MS68 or above, the rarity drives value higher with every passing year. It's also essential to note how grading services like NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation and Mizuzi's professional coin grading service influence the market. Coins that are slabbed and encapsulated with official grades not only offer authenticity assurance, but also unlock entry into the competitive registry set market, where collectors compete for the highest graded coins. A 1997 D Kennedy half dollar. Certified at MS68 by PCGS with a low population and high demand. This becomes a blue chip collectible that can easily reach $15,000 to $22,000, depending on the auction venue and market trends. For those who suspect they may possess a high grade or error variety, sending the coin in for professional grading is the first step toward potentially uncovering a life-changing numismatic treasure, with demand increasing for modern rarities and condition-sensitive coins. Even once overlooked issues like the 1997 D Kennedy half dollar are gaining attention from both collectors and investors. The allure of this coin also connects to the historical period it represents. The late 1990s were a transitional time for U.S. coinage, with the U.S. Mint preparing for the launch of the State Quarters program in 1999, which would dominate public interest for the next decade. As a result, Kennedy half dollars of this era received less attention at the time, leading to fewer being preserved in mint condition. This relative neglect by the general public means surviving uncirculated examples today are scarcer than one might expect. And as more collectors turn their focus to these forgotten years, prices have responded with substantial increases. While most 1997 D Kennedy half dollars were used in vending machines, casinos, or simply ignored, a small number escaped circulation were kept in pristine condition, are now being recognized as high-value numismatic assets. In conclusion, the 1997 D Kennedy half dollar may appear common at first glance, but under the right circumstances, perb condition, professional grading, or rare mint errors, it transforms into a coin of immense value and collector importance. Examples in MS68 condition or with dramatic minting mistakes are among the most desirable. Kennedy half dollars in existence and have achieved auction prices of up to $22,000 as interest in high-grade modern coinage continues to rise, and as more collectors seek out rare specimens from the 1990s. The 1997 D issue stands as a brilliant example of how even recent coins can offer extraordinary rewards to those with a keen eye and a little luck. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual coin roll hunter, it's worth checking your collection for this unassuming yet potentially priceless half dollar. If you discover a coin in mint state or with a visible error, have it authenticated, and graded you may just be holding one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever minted.